GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head,
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, Gore Clubbers? Welcome back to the GoreCast here with me and the Buzz. Oh no, that's not the Buzz, that's a blue screen. That's what we got going on there. To the that side of me, we got blue screen. Beneath me, we got Giz, and beneath blue screen, we have Carter.
Ew.
Otherwise known as Den Boys from the GC. What up? We still only have blue screen for Buzz. I'm just going to double check the old Skypes here and make sure it's not a... Oh yeah, no, we do in fact only have blue screen for Buzz. Do we have Buzz?
That's weird.
Yeah, I can see him perfectly
We've got
fine.
Buzz.
Right.
Can you see him?
Yeah, you're the only one that seems to be having issues.
I can't see him on YouTube, but I can see him in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's telling me there's only
think
two
I'm here.
more people in the call, not three.
Then the issue appears to be on your side, dude.
Because I'm
We're
looking at
looking
it
right at him.
suddenly right in front of that green screen, dude.
Looking like a sexy beast.
See?
As
Oh, yeah,
always,
he's
never
back
let it
now.
be said that the forecast can start smoothly.
Oh no,
Sorry,
and he's gone again.
I teleported. I'm gone again.
Okay, you got... Yeah, no, he's back. This is fucking weird, man.
I'll be back.
Like I said, I can't see him on YouTube, but I can see him in the call.
Yeah.
Can you hear him on YouTube? Oh wait, you probably have
No,
the
you
sound off.
you
for us,
probably
it'd be
can
echoey.
hear him on YouTube.
Well, as long as his voice is there,
Oh,
then he can
there we
just
go.
Yeah, no, he's appearing and disappearing for me for some reason. But it's only him, not any
Hey,
of you.
That's what.
Which, considering it's all on the one call, it should be all of you disappear, not
There
one.
we-
If it's on my end.
Should I hang up and come back? Maybe.
No, because you're still here.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm also still here. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And my camera's visible to everybody.
He's got the Skype call in front of him, like the logo.
Yeah. He's got the Skype logo in front of him.
Yeah, my video is on. So
Yeah, hang up and ring
Because when
back
you move
just for a
that
second,
point-
and we'll figure this out. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Tell me about it. Anyway, this week we decided we were going to get all yeehaw and Western styly. I did have a hat. I just can't fit it. I don't mind putting movies that aren't horror movies onto the show. If you want to have it out on air, I don't mind. But it does need to have some horror in it, as predominantly all of the pages we share the videos to are our horror community.
Yeah, that's fine. That's grand. Except you hijacked one with two terrible, terrible examples of the cause.
Yes, but the two other suggestions you put in upon reading the synopsis and in depth into them are not fucking cowboy movies or horror movies, which didn't resolve
Falls
the
in
issue.
with them.
Well, I know the one with Bruce Willis was one of them.
That's because you were the one that asked me to stick within a certain theme.
Of horror, which Bruce Willis was not.
Not at first. Or at least that's not what I picked up.
Okay,
Anyway,
and I got
back
crazy
onto the
feedback
subject at hand.
coming through someone's
This is
mic
making
now.
me sad. Can we do some news and like spaghetti westerns?
Yes, let's do some news.
Yes, news.
am I back, guys?
You
am I
are,
back?
you are back. There we go. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god! I think your video just deleted itself now. Give me a minute. Okay. Well, your voice is still there. So what will? Oh no, wait. Nobody's voices are there when he's gone. God damn it! Give me one moment. It's fine. Okay, we'll have this voice. Not now, Google.
This is what happens when we watch A Fistful of Brains and Dead Noon. bad things happen.
Sorry, one moment. You guys talk for a second, and I'm just gonna. Yes.
Can we be heard?
Yes.
Because like what? Okay, because a second ago it sounded like okay. While you take stock of yourself, character, do you want to crack into the news?
I would. I totally would.
Let the
He doesn't have it
voice
in
the
front of
secret
him.
saloon talk.
Yeah.
Guess what? I pulled up the story because I'm prepared, kind of.
Thank the gods.
I just like put it on the table. I didn't realize I was going to be reading said news. Totally my
That's the
bad.
funny thing.
Watch
It's
Watch
like
this news bit, and then I'll get back to it.
I got the Blumhouse and Lee the Upgrade sequel television series.
Yeah, you just pipped me to the post. I was going to suggest it, and you got in there before me, character. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, cool. But I haven't actually read the article. I just saw it and kind of went, I can't wait to hear what this says.
And the other one was suggested by Roddy, who's not even here, so I don't know why.
He suggested the upgrade. I threw in there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well, I got the one story up, the Upgrade. So Blumhouse Television and UCP are adapting Lee Wannell's 2018 sci-fi thriller Upgrade into a television series. Bloody Disgusting has learned today. The series, which Wannell co-created and will executive produce, along with showrunner Tim Walsh, a few years after the events of the universe and broadens the universe involved version of STEM and new host.
Okay, now I'm on board a little bit more.
A writer's room has been put together to write the first season by Crystal Ziv Houghton and James Rowland, who ran the second season of The Purge. They have joined the crew. The film starred Logan Marshall Green, Betty Grable, and Harrison Gilbertson. After his wife is killed during a brutal mugging that also leaves him paralyzed, Gray Trace is approached by a billionaire inventor with an experimental cure in the form of a computer chip implant called STEM. The implant provides its host with heightened physical abilities, allowing Gray to exact revenge on those responsible for his wife's death.
Responsible?
Okay.
Yes, responsible.
I may have been drinking in the saloon behind me.
So we're carrying the same storyline as the movie, then?
I have no idea. I'm just reading the words.
If they're after saying that it's supposed to be an involved stim and a new host, and what I'm thinking is the technology gets picked up.
Right. Okay.
The technology gets picked up, put into someone else. But think about it. There's a whole lot of stuff they can go with this, especially with that line "involved stim," because I'm automatically envisioning basically your host can see like a CGI.
We
or
got Joe
basically,
Daly and Brian Murphy in the chat. What's up, lads? How are we getting on?
Hello. Basically,
I'm waving, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're back. Don't worry, I have it all resolved.
Basically, I have this vision of Stim being like Al to fucking Sam in Quantum Leap. You know, only.
I think that would be cool shit.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
I kind of zoned off because one minute it sounded like, "Hey, new host, new story," and then I like zoned out and didn't realize he was reading the synopsis of the actual movie.
Yeah.
So I really need to start drinking like later in the show, apparently. But
I think like if done correctly, this could be a really cool live action fucking.
This could be so sick, yeah, dude. Because I dug the shit out of the movie. It was fucking awesome.
There was a lot of great violence and some really good humor as well, especially the interactions between Gray and Sim. When the violence kicks off and he's so shocked and he's like, "What the frack?" It's great,
I think
man.
the kitchen was probably my favorite scene.
It is hilariously vicious.
And old boy was just good. Like he just had that like,
kitchen scene is goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
If we're gonna like move on, I was more worried because I didn't read the article at first when it came up in the chat. I was afraid we were going to try to pick up from the movie and expand or some shit like that. So I was kind of like, I dig the story, but so this makes me excited.
I actually can't remember how that film ended. We'll not say it on air. We'll not say it on air in case people haven't seen it yet. But I wasn't talking to you that time. I was talking to Carter because it looked like he was going to say it.
I'm just clapping.
Why are you just clapping?
Because I have no input because I haven't seen it, so that's my input.
Oh, you need to watch it. It's great fun. Dude. It's so much fun.
This is like a running theme with the show for the last 2 weeks. Is no matter what we mention in the news bits, Buzz is like, I'm aware of it through news articles, but seeing the actual piece itself, I haven't had a chance.
To be fair, you should check it out. It's a very good film.
I can't. To be fair, I can't say much considering we're doing a show on a couple of one very famous film and its sequel, and I hadn't seen the very famous film until earlier on this week.
Just to clarify, by sequel, it's not A Fistful of Brains is the sequel, just in case there's any confusion.
Frack, no.
Even though it should be.
Yeah. Okay, we have another news bit before we start getting into the movies, which I can't wait for. I'm right up.
Does anybody have it pulled up?
I remember season of again.
I think you might be taking the lead on that there, Buzz.
I tell you what.
This is a shit show of a show. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
At least it's entertaining.
The news. I'm not prepared.
Tell you what, Carter, why don't you just discuss what you do bloody well remember?
Season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows is coming up. Bing! That's all I remember because I didn't actually read the article. So
of the TV season 3 of What Comes in the Shadows, which is the
Do in the Shadows.
What They Do in the Shadows.
It's
a TV show based off the movie, which is fucking hilarious. And I was unaware it had a second season.
No shit.
Yeah, I knew it had a second season.
Well, good for you.
I didn't
from the sounds of it, you're the most qualified to be talking, Giz.
I haven't watched the show because I never bothered watching it. My friends are big into it and can't believe it.
Ring one of them there.
Kelly's character in Cthulhu is basically based on the fucking Pompous vampire in it, which is hilarious. Oh no, it wasn't Cthulhu. It was.
I will say that vampire on the vampire on the right in the photo looks quite like Seth Rollins.
Guys, guess what? I have an article up right now.
Hit me with the info, please, Buzzle.
The topic.
Oh, not now, Google!
What we...
I have to turn off that voice activation. Anytime you say the words O or the letters O and quickly followed by Schmay.
Something else. What We Do in the Shadows has been renewed for a third season at FX. The news comes as the series is still in the midst of its second season, with the season finale set to air on June 10th per FX. The series is averaging 3.2 million viewers per episode across all platforms in its second season, up 25% on season 1. We're incredibly happy that the critics and audiences are all in on Shadows.
You're reading that with such enthusiasm.
As said Nick Grad, president and original programming of FX Entertainment, week in and week out, the producers, writers, and our amazing cast continue to make one of the funniest and best comedy shows on TV.
There we go.
What We Do in the Shadows, based on the feature film of the same name by Jennifer Clement and Taika Waititi, documents the nightly exploits.
Oh, I'm sure they're highly as well.
The nightly exploits of vampire roommates Nandor, Nadja, Laszlo, and Colin Robinson as they navigate the modern world of Staten Island with the help of their human
with the
help of their human. Done. Drop the mic. Boom.
With the help of their human... Fuck, where'd it go? Helmet... a guy.
The human. He's not important.
Well...
We really just watch it for the vampires.
I can't see who's watching at the moment. But
unfortunately,
Katie,
Paddy Joe and... Unfortunately for both Paddy Joe and Murphy...
I was going to say, Katie,
I would assume
if you're watching, or if you're watching this later, You need to get Kelly to watch this just to see the apoplectic shock on her face as she explodes as Buzz attempts to cover that badly. Because she loves that show, man. She loves it. Her character was based on Laszlo.
Dude, like I said, I really dug the movie, but I really couldn't even get to the first season of the show. So it surprised the shit out of me when I got the news of like, oh, hey, third season.
You're like, where was season number 2?
Right.
According to the awesome article I just read, it's still on TV right now.
Yeah, season 2 is still going.
Yeah.
It's just been confirmed that they're getting a third one from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
If that's what you're able to get from what I
Which
just
is
read.
a refreshing,
As Buzz
a
drops
refreshing
them off.
change. Instead of it being like, cancelled.
I wouldn't have missed it.
Is it not as good as the movie?
I couldn't get into it, dude. Like, I can't remember the guy's name, but one of the dudes was on the old TV show called IT Crowd. I dig him like so fucking much. I just didn't find like
He's
it
your
had
man.
that
He's
same
your man
kind
that
of-
ran the company after the dad died. Do you know, Father? That guy.
Right. Yes, dude.
I love it.
Fucking awesome.
Shut up, priest.
It didn't have that same feel as the movie that kind of hooked me. You know, like it just didn't have that same kind of chemistry interaction. So, and I mean, like it was kind of a slow movie, and they keep that same pace with the TV show. It's like umpteen episodes of a fucking documentary.
I feel like
I just couldn't get into it.
Okay, anyway, shall we move on to the, and I use the term very loosely, movie review portion of this show?
These were movies. Hey, sorry,
It wasn't
Giz, in
that
fairness. Right.
That's
Sorry,
not the
Giz,
term that I'm
Giz-
using loosely. The term that I'm using loosely is review.
Oh, right. I thought you were using the term movie.
So did
loosely. Okay.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Because
Just
I
to
was
clarify,
going to say,
review.
I won't mention any names, but you and I, in review for this show, have done way
Seen
worse than this.
Stuff. We've seen some. We've
T-
seen
yeah,
some
yeah,
things.
Yeah. Myself and Giz are the movie review equivalent of going to Vietnam. Do you know? It's just kind of like, you weren't there, man.
You
weren't there, man. What was it? Oh, there's one that springs to mind. Like,
Shh, my mind is a wonderful thing, and it automatically erases anything that it needs
it did have a really good song.
Unfortunately, that's
It had a really
not
good
of
song
life.
in it. That was like
But anyway.
the biggest redeeming feature for me in the movie. That I was like, that tune's fucking.
That's been a
Yeah, I
bajillion
know,
of them.
Thank God you got a good soundtrack, bro. But anyway, from 2008, the first movie we're going to be covering. Oh, I better do a quick little change-a-roo here. Get rid of the vampires. Although there is applicable.
I want to be a vampire. Oh my God! I need to track down that song.
Have you tried YouTube? It is amazing what's on there.
I know, but it just occurred to me now to remember to track down that song. We're in the middle of a show, so I'm not going to do
Right.
it.
Now that I have that up there.
No, this would be a perfect time to do it.
First up, we got from 2008, A Fistful of Brains, which essentially the synopsis of the movie is, you got a really nasty town sheriff who runs the place. He likes drinking. You got a brother that comes into town. Well, you don't know he's a brother yet. You got a guy that comes into town, a real snake oil salesman, that is selling this magical tonic that I won't lie to you, looks remarkably like water. But anyway, moving along. The water tonic gives you everlasting life and turns you into a crazy fucking brain-sucking vampire or zombie thing, one or the other. And he's got a twin brother. That twin brother, he also does the juice, but he does it in a more cultist kind of way. I've got followers, do. Whereas the other brother is essentially trying to just make an army of undead to fight his brother's army of undead. And there's a titty fight with a priest. Other than that, I would say
Which was
synopsis
awesome.
done. Let's just get into the movie.
You're also forgetting about the
I know,
sheriff's
we'll get
daughter
into
who
we'll get
wants
into
to bang
that.
the pro-
We'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll get into that. Anyway, yeah. It's a crazy little... It's a hard one to say I loved it. I'll put it that way. I will say one thing I found
Necessarily,
quite I'll actually say mind blowing, because I was like, it shows a level of film concept that I didn't think was there from watching the rest of the piece. But like during the scene where the the lad is getting broken out of prison. Do you know where the prison is on fire? The way they did the lighting and stuff,
Yeah.
I was like, that's how you do good fire lighting. And my computer's fucking freezing up now.
You see, not even technology is willing to withstand this one.
Yeah. We're loading.
A fistful of brains attempts to give us a story.
We're loading. Oh no, we're back. That.
What the heck?
I don't know. Yeah, I actually don't know what's going on. Well, no, actually, I can give you a slight indication as to what's going on. It's really hot as fuck, and my brain ceases to function. Do you know the way you hear women getting baby brain? I get summer brain, where it's just like. Do you ever watch Black Books with Dylan Moran?
Not
Yeah.
Receiving enough data. Well, it'll start receiving it eventually, I think. Or has the stream gone down? No,
Black Books was not my favorite.
I don't know. Will you guys talk for a minute so I can, like, I'm the one doing all the talking and I'm trying to resolve issues here.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. Okay. To clarify,
I kind of dug A Fistful of Brains.
Here's the thing, right? The story overall could have actually worked because the notion is that you've got two immortal brothers. One of them is in charge of basically this immortal cult. The other one, a jealous bastard, decides his best option is to rob some of the elixir, which, by the way, has a very Lazarus Pit-like effect, except turns you a little bit more cannibalistic.
I don't know what YouTube's
Make himself an army and sick them on the cult so that he can then take over.
Yeah.
Forget it. So this guy arrives into a town selling his snake oil. Now, this is your typical fucking bum rush shitheel town whereby the priest is just
and the priest, like,
the last priest was shot in the head
he's
for
very
taking this out of the town sheriff who was drunk.
Literally anything that moves or has a heartbeat.
Well, no, really,
he's more than just
really
equine inclined. Yeah.
Yeah, we know. But I was trying to be polite. Trying. But, so, yeah, in the mid... Well, you have your snake oil salesman who's basically trying to create his undead crazy army to
you also have the side story of the sheriff
not quite
who's
crazy
a nasty
cult.
bastard and who's got a daughter who's fallen madly in love with a man, but it would appear that man is the legitimate love child of the sheriff, at which both parties do come to a very fine dilemma that they're just like, that's fine.
Well, no, hang on. At first, she believes that he is her half-brother, despite the fact that he is continuously coming on to her. That's her entire thing. You're my half-brother.
Stop it now.
This isn't
Put it
happening.
away.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Then over the course of the film, stuff kind of comes to light and it's kind of like, don't stop it. In fact, do it a lot.
Yes, more of that, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, by the time this happens, full-on zombie apocalypse has kicked off because snake oil
vampire zombie thing.
They're flesh eaters.
Flesh eaters. There we go. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, the notion is that they are immortal, but that immortality is fueled by other people's life and visceral flesh. So we're gonna eat you, motherfucker.
Then you're brought into quite an interesting and I'm going to say very long and very not. I say interesting in the loosest of terms. You're brought into a very long fight scene involving 10 people, which is the funny. Which is the thing that I found hilarious. And to differentiate who the occultist vampire, demon, zombie, flesh eater things are, they wear face paint.
Yeah, because they're the ones that are in the cult.
Yeah, they're the ones in the cult, and the other ones are just zombie-looking hillbillies.
It kind of helped with that whole shirt versus skins thing. I kind of appreciated it.
It was a kind of a Warriors kind of vibe, do you know what I mean? Where it was like, oh, I know who these guys are, I know who these guys are. One guy's got baseball bats, and the other lads are wearing sleeveless leather vests. Perfect.
I'm not going to accidentally take out one of my own. It worked.
Who are we supposed to root for in this movie?
No one.
Besides my immediate death, so I could stop watching it.
I would imagine that you're I would imagine you're supposed to obviously root for the girl and the guy because literally everybody else.
That's not happening.
Well, because like
Yeah, but
even the,
but literally everybody else in the
she was
story
kinda cute.
is an asshole.
Yeah.
except for the spoiled brother though, he was all like, "Yeah, I don't eat people. I eat cows like shit." So you were kind of rooting for him for a second.
Yeah, you see, that's the point. The brother and his cult, they're under control. They're immortal. They have the hunger, but they're not eating people. So you're able to kind of go, okay, they have figured out how to do this without being rampaging bastards. That's
Right.
cool. That's cool.
We-
The other brother, on the other hand,
Like-
is complete and utter thundering dick who's created a mindless army of flesh-eating bastards to take over.
I mean, they're sitting there on the wagon, and he's pretty much like kind of like doing that whole invite, like join the group. We don't eat people. It's kosher. We live
No,
forever.
hang on.
Hey,
Both twin brothers are dicks. It's just one of them is less of a dick
right?
because he was like, I could share the power of controlling all of my human zombie army instead of what you're trying to do, where it's like, it should be all my zombie army. And then there was a very interesting conversation about how one remembered him pushing him back as he tried to get out of the womb, which I was like, bro.
And that right there should explain why Brother A is in charge of the death cult, while Brother B was left
Okay.
out in the cold by the parents.
So-
Brother A is a go-getter. That's why.
He's not
We're- we're
delusional.
We're supposed to say one good thing about this movie.
I didn't say we had to
I
say
think we
one
can-
good thing.
yeah.
I just said
Well, I have something that needs to be mentioned.
I
that
just said I
guess
don't
could be a good
like
thing, but it's
shitting on
not.
movies, and I like to keep them objective if possible.
We
As I
got to
said,
see. We got to see the first ever flesh eater / human gunfight. That was interesting.
Yeah, because the sheriff still used his
Little
gun and then just ate what he shot, which is
Exactly.
Which is,
So
I suppose,
that was-
you better kill what you eat. I suppose, which
You
is
know
fair.
what, dude? For
Pretty
five-
sure I read that in a story one time.
You better kill what you eat.
No, a Western zombie thing whereby someone got shot and then it's kind of like never let a good meal go to waste.
No, you know though, man. For this one, out of all of the films we watched for tonight, I will say, A Fistful of Brains shows, hey, if you got $5, you can still do decent with special effects.
Yeah, like the gore effects were pretty good. There was, I will admit, there was a couple of dodgy heart removals, but I can slide through that.
No,
Do
exactly.
you know what I mean?
But like, I'm just saying, like, if you look at the first two horror ones that we watched, I thought the second one was a lot fucking dodgier than say the first one.
The second one was like shot on a better budget, but had a ropier storyline.
Ropier, and I
See,
really
that's-
didn't care for their fucking CGI. But here we had practical effects. We're not Hollywood by any means, but they pulled it off with the $5 that they did in their
Yeah,
pocket.
no.
As I said,
I totally agree with you. Like, for what is visibly a low budget flick, they did a lot with no. What did you say? It was $4,000, or was that Dead Noon? Oh,
No,
okay,
that's Dead Noon.
Yeah,
I'd imagine this was on the same sort of.
No, like,
Even
while it's easy to rip a film like this apart for like just, say bad special effects or what have you, or bad acting, like this is the kind of shit like I fully support when like kind of looking into indie shit.
And
as I said, I actually liked the overall story, what they were trying to do, the notion of having these immortal brothers going up against each other and basically using a town as nothing more than a pawn in this fucking game.
he literally uses it at a pawn. He just takes over the entire inhabitants, just like, I need a zombie army, and quick. Yeah, you
You're
guys
it.
will buy literally
Yep.
anything as long as it's in a shiny bottle. Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy's chugging down the stuff quite nonchalantly as he's talking about it, so it does really. Although that could be water. Come to think of it, he could be. Oh no, he's drinking the juice as well.
It just kind of reminded me of like Night of the Living Dead, like what we can accomplish when every friend of a fucking friend gets together and does somebody like a huge fucking favor.
I will say one thing I hadn't seen in a movie before that this brought to the table that entertained the ever-loving hell out of me was I've never seen a zombie rip off a titty before and then commence to beat a load of people around the place with it. Goddamn amazing.
Okay, yes, that part.
And to have a priest do it, put me on the floor.
Do you know
dude.
after he comes out from
While
very much humping a horse? Yeah, so it's after that.
Like it got weirder, and then we tapered off, and I was like,
full-blown weird.
That was fucking awesome.
Nice.
Didn't the priest in Brain Dead kind of meld flesh with the nurse that he was trying to fuck when they were both dead?
Shit, I don't remember that. It's been a long time since I've
That's
seen that
meld
one.
flesh. I'm talking this guy ripped the titty off and then used it as an offensive weapon.
Oh, I know. I'm
just
parallel fucked up naturedness with a priest and tits and flesh and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but like he poked another guy in the face to like get the advantage during a fight.
So he went the Three Stooges resource of fighting. Okay.
Yeah.
No, and it works. Oh boy, it was like, oh.
It's good. All in all, if you're looking for an entertaining, this is
no.
You stop. You stop it now. Don't cop block my outros. Don't zip it.
Support this.
Would you like a sucker on my zipple?
To give you all.
0800-899-89. Zip it. Anyway, if you're looking for a bit of an entertainment factor that you could have while watching with several friends, this is a very recommendable movie. I will say I was slightly confused because it is available on Amazon, but the version we watched appears to be the full movie that's just on the company's YouTube page. So I don't know how that works.
If like maybe Amazon has.
Yeah, I was wondering if if the one is maybe like the initial one, and then when they got the Amazon thing, they were like, because that does happen before. Yeah, because that does happen. Like where Amazon would be like, I like the idea of the movie, but we need you to get it to a certain level before we're happy to put it on.
Right.
As we're aware from some of the movies we've had, that level is low. But
because there's a couple they're talking where you watch them, but it sounds like they're in a studio, kind of like redo vocals.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway,
there's times when
here is the trailer for Fistful of Brains, and then we're going to be back with Dead Noon.
David Elway, the crime of stealing and mutilating cattle, you were sentenced to hang from your neck until you are dead.
I done told you, Sheriff. I didn't do it. It was those damn people in the woods. They're all further out. They did off the scenes to the cattle.
Enough.
I swear.
Good people of Shadowhawk. Step right up, step right up. The show is not over, it's just begun. I am here to offer you eternal life in this amazing elixir. Only 25 cents a bottle. Step right up, who's first?
I got me a daughter who's dying.
I got somebody sick in my family.
I've got something very special for you.
You, little brother, are weak. That's why when we fight, I always win. Once again, I'm gonna have to clean up the mess that you've made. Those people in that town are condemned, thanks to you. Lazarus, you won't win this time. We'll see.
Yes, we will! You have no idea what you're in for, big brother, or how many people I've sold my water to. You've got one hell of a fight on your hands!
Hey, Frank, wait. Look at her. She ain't right.
Pastor John?
This stuff is amazing. I feel good. The headache is gone.
I feel hungry.
Katie, sweetheart. You're chilled to the bone.
2, 1. And we're back. That was the trailer for, of course, everything's in the way. There we go. Move you out of the way, studio. Anyway, that was the trailer for Fistful of Brains, 2008.
Sorry, just briefly getting back to something that you were mentioning while we were watching it. The song that you're on about, the song of Fistful of Brains is probably done for the film. So
No,
like I said,
I was saying I think they used the Fistful of Dollars music. It's what I was saying. I could be wrong. Maybe, who knows. Anyway, that's available on Amazon or YouTube, whatever way you want to pop around, do you think?
Asmonum.
Not to be rude, but definitely catch it on YouTube. I mean,
It's like $25 on Amazon, I think.
It is up there.
Yeah.
Slightly.
I'm not trying to be
highway robbery.
Right. I wouldn't watch fucking Aquaman
but it's
for like
so good.
$20 some odd on Amazon, dude.
Anyway. Okay. Anyway. Next up we have... Oh my god, what's going on here? Good lord.
Sorry.
I'll just stretch it that way. That's better.
I don't know.
Anyway,
You're the one that sees it, not us.
Okay.
Catching myself.
Anyway,
my bad.
next up we have Dead Noob from 2003. I think. Was it? I don't think
I think it was
same.
2008 as well.
Really?
2007.
Okay, 2007. We have Dead Noob from 2007, starring Kane Harder. That's the only one anyone will know. And a bunch of other people telling a story, kind of. I'm trying to do my patented quick synopsis, and then we get into the just discussion of the movie. So, it's kind of a story where Kane Hodder is I'm assuming, mystical kind of cowboy who's kidnapped a girl and is recanting the tale of these other mystical cowboys who are looking for the heir/son of an old sheriff that made them mystical by killing them, because they went to hell and they came back with the mystical powers of hell, and they're looking for him because he's the last heir of the sheriff or whatever kind of thing. Yeah, that's bar his younger brother, who obviously is adopted or something. I don't know what the story is there because they never got into it. Anyway, that's pretty much the synopsis of the movie, to be honest. And there's a load. Go on.
There's a couple other things. Like I said, this is another one whereby I actually think that
I really enjoyed the whole story. It was just the linking.
Cool.
I thought the actual story itself was a really good idea. I just thought the way the scenes were put together was bad. That sounds like I'm giving out about the editing completely. No, I'm giving out about the way you put the scenes together.
Fucking editing.
Go on.
Story.
If I may, much like the film Troy, individually, this film has really good aspects. Good story. There's decent scenes. There's some really good plot hooks. But for some strange and unknown reason, when everything gets mashed together, it just doesn't quite seem to fracking work.
There's several elements to this overall story, and it's like they just never worked the central story arc enough that linked everything together. And it just... Go on.
Right. If I might, I
have what they're trying to get at. It's just that it's very poorly executed in the way that they put it together. Like the story, if you're to just watch the story, and by the way, do you mean I think I know what they're trying to get at? I'm going to do the Giz thing where I fill in a load of gaps? Or are you on about... Because there's movies, by your own admission, that you really enjoyed, and then I haven't enjoyed, and it's turned out that you enjoyed them because the overall storyline that you had to add to tie all of these scenes together was actually fracking awesome.
See, Right.
Which
And I
is
feel
in
like
credit
if
to you.
Like,
That,
I
like,
have
as
to
in,
sit at home
people
and
should
put
just hire
shit
you because it's
together.
like if you've got a mediocre movie, there's a very good chance Skiz can add that bit of salt and
Right.
pepper, or in the words of Futurama, get out the old spice weasel and bam, kick it up a notch. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Like then people owe you money on shit, dude.
Don't take.
All right, fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I was right. I was right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that is that. That's
The overall central story arc is supposed to be based around the fact that there is the sheriff's son who's looking to move out of town with his wifey. His brother is taking over as sheriff. He's a bit of an asshole. And there's another girl that works in the sheriff's department as well, who, if I picked up correctly, used to be knobbing the older brother, but is now knobbing the younger brother. She bangs whoever's the sheriff. I think she comes as part of the sheriff deal. Is what I picked up. Yeah. She comes with the badge. You know,
She comes with the badge.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Anyway,
Yes.
so, this.
Oh, God, sorry.
This guy is a son
She kind of
of
acts
another
like
sheriff
part of the
who's a
department.
big, long line of sheriffs. And at some stage down that timeline, during actual cowboy times, one of those sheriffs shot up a load of fucking gangsters. And they went to hell because they're those kind of dudes. But they're so badass that they came out of hell. Not only came out of hell, but came out of hell with superpowers. And what?
Over a poker game.
Yeah, the devil is a bad poker player. That's
exactly. They weren't that badass. Apparently, the devil is shit at cards.
Does that not
since when?
Does that not
Since they
show
won
that
the
they're
card game, I'm gonna
badass?
take
Like
off
the whole
and
point of the
make
devil
off.
doing the like Bill and Ted had to bust out.
The other guys had
Bill and
nothing to
Ted
do
had to
with
bust out fucking what's that game with all the dots on the floor? Twister, yeah. Wasn't that how they ended up beating Satan?
Twister
Or Death? What?
Pull that right on my eyes.
That's how
Yes.
Yeah, because they couldn't play chess.
That's 'cause
Do you know
they
what I mean?
couldn't-
Like they
yeah,
had
'cause
to,
they couldn't
they
play
had to
chess.
go down to the barest level. This guy played Satan in a fucking game of just straight up poker and won.
Like the main bad guy
You know
played poker.
what?
He got out and then broke his lackeys out with him.
Because the guy that came up with this story is a big fan of Ghost Rider and a big fan of Preacher.
won't
And
lie to
basically,
you.
if you
You
stick
can
a couple
tell
aspects of both
exactly-
stories together,
You can tell. Number one, it was 3 fucking cowboys. I don't know when the 4th one showed up. I was like, where did this fucking 4th one? I was like, there's the flaming skull guy. There's the guy who doesn't have a skull face. He's just in black. And then there's the other skull guy. And then I was like, where did the mutated face dude come from?
There's the guy with no eyes.
Yeah.
the guy with the beard. Yeah, they were the
No eyes
okay.
in the main bad guy. They are the 4 horsemen.
Now, as I said, there is the cool element of, that's what I was talking about. You can literally tell where they pulled Preacher and Ghost Rider from, because one dude is essentially Preacher, except he's a cowboy, and the other guy is Ghost Rider, except, he's a cowboy.
I was thinking more along the lines of the card game and the bodies buried in Boot Hill and coming back because basically the devil lost the bet or told you to get the fuck out because you're a heartless bastard and I can't whip you despite the fact that I can see your spine. Sorry.
I don't know, but even the guy in the black suited cowboy guy is very Preacher. And the other cowboy, for obvious reasons, is very much Ghost Rider.
Right.
Well, Frank is Frank the one that you're talking about that looks like a preacher?
No, I didn't say he looked like a preacher. I said his attitude and general demeanor is very similar to Preacher.
Yeah, that's Frank.
The only one that doesn't have a skull for a face.
Yeah, he's the one who's actually carrying out. He's the
he's the main guy,
so to speak.
Yeah, he's the one who won the.
Played his way
he's the
out
one
of
who
hell,
poker fucked the.
and then took his 3 lackeys with him.
Yeah.
Just with no kind of any more.
We also say except Buzz, who just nods.
With no more any in-depth story into it, which is what my issue is. Because I'm kind of like...
It was part of the bet.
I feel there should be something a little bit more to it, especially considering that... Especially considering that the whole gambling section happened during the opening credits.
Yes.
which is what I.
Are you on about backstory for why he's coming back?
No, the backstory as to how the cowboys got out of hell literally was the opening credit scene. Like, I ended up having to rewind because I was rolling up and I was doing the usual things I do as I'm getting into a movie, and then I kind of looked up and I was like, this poker section is going really long in the trailer, and then I was like, oh shit, this is actually a movie.
I had a fucking stroke and had to rewind it. Like, it made no fucking sense.
They wanted to get it out of the way quickly, and they didn't have a budget to actually have them playing cards in hell.
Yeah.
No, and I get that. They had the whole fire in the background and two people.
I don't have an issue with the way it was shot. It was just that for such a significant piece of storyline, I just thought using it as your opener was a little bit odd.
Right. And they made it very clear, like, oh, hey, so this dude, because Kane made the statement about it, and it came up a couple times, I played my way to get out of hell.
Yeah.
It was until, like, he sat in the church, he's like, oh, and wanted to read about the four horsemen. That's cool. Then why didn't you? I didn't play for me and friends to get out of hell. I played for me to get out of hell.
Oh, I get it. No. Part of the bet, and this is what I was saying. He actually says, I get out of hell or I get out with all the powers of hell.
Right.
And with some of the they say that. Because he says that, one of the powers of hell is I get to bring my God's damn minions back.
Okay. So he got them out on a loophole.
Because I totally fucking right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, like he was looking to come back with like a fucking army of demons, and the devil basically said, "No, you can come back with your boys."
Okay, that is a huge chunk in my fucking books. So thank you. Like, that made no fucking sense to me.
Which is why, if you look at the film and if you look at how it ends, one can theoretically say that the devil is not a shit card player. He's just a sneaky bastard that was bored and wanted to have a bit of a laugh and have a bit of entertainment.
I wish there was some clarified scene or something for there's a lot too much. There's way too much left up to the imagination in this movie, in my opinion. And the major part that I found the most incoherent was Kane Hodder's bit. While they were the best sections of the movie, hands down.
Oh god, yes.
God damn it! I swear he's the only one that could fucking act in that whole fucking thing. And the girl was good as well. Actually, sorry, I tell the girl that he kidnapped.
But
the one he kidnapped.
Which one?
Yeah,
I'll say because you've got the wife and the blonde. So the wife was the best.
I think the girl that Hodder kidnapped was the best out of.
Yes, because she really played off not knowing anybody, and then at the end, like, oh yeah, I know who he is.
You see, here's the thing, right? I actually thought that was really good, and then they kind of shot themselves in the foot at the very end by her all of a sudden having knowledge that she denied having the entire time. I really liked the idea that Kane is telling her this story because it's his prologue for why she is there, so that she knows that these are the stakes, these are the kind of things that can. This is what has happened, and I've done the same thing, and this is what's going to happen.
It just felt very slotted in.
It felt like it was a completely different
movie. If I was to hazard a guess, I feel like they didn't know they were able to get him, and they shot a movie, and then they got him and shot these bits to add it in and build the rest of the movie around it.
That's because I think that's actually kind of what happened.
That would explain a lot.
Right.
Mission accomplished.
I just I feel like they were trying to do a movie. Oh shit, we got Holden. Oh fuck, this kind of feels like an anthology. Fucking it'll work.
Gentlemen, the original Dead Noon was made for $4,000. All the scenes with Kane Hodder were added to Dead Noon after the movie was picked up by Barnshield's Entertainment.
And dude, like, this is my biggest issue that I have.
Apparently, at that point, they took out 20 minutes of the original film and completely re-edited it.
I
rescored it.
Oh. Okay, so this actually could have been a decent fucking film before the re-edit.
Yeah, so
I don't know. I don't. The Kane Hodder part in it. I thought that kind of.
No, that's the shitty part. Like, I like that. I liked him, but if they're taking out that much to re-edit, that kind of makes me feel better because like so much of the film.
I would imagine what they took out was the
it.
bits of storylining that they had to explain. The bits of storyline the Kane Hodder ended up explaining. But the issue is that when you kind of do something like that, the natural flow of where the dialogue delivers those storyline points is now a whole separate thing that wasn't really conceived into it at the start.
And that's what. Right, like it just didn't feel like it because so many scenes were just.
Okay.
Oh, look, we're here now.
The minute you said that, Giz, I was like, okie dokie, because I just, as I was watching it, I was just like, I feel like these were just like shot separate and shoehorned in. Like they nearly look like they're shot in a different quality level of camera. Like because those shots in those sections are like shot beautifully, and they're like the little bit of fire lighting and everything's really good. It looked really good.
Yeah.
You have the interesting story with the brothers, which confused the ever-loving hell out of me because they're coming for this last one in the lineage of the bloodline, even though he's very much not the last one. Not only is he not the last one, by the time they arrive, he's not even the sheriff anymore. So he should be just not part of their problem.
Right.
No, he'd still be part of the bloodline, so it's still
I just found it odd. That they actually did not give a monkeys about the younger brother. They only shot at him because he was there. Like there was no retroactive search for the younger brother.
And sought him out because there's that whole church scene where old boy comes in behind.
I did quite like that church
huge
scene
conversation and shit.
Yeah, I thought that was really good to him just menacingly just sitting in the pew behind him and the conversation going on. I would have liked the brother to exhibit some slightly more cojones in the... Because he was pretty much just like, why are you looking for me? I'm definitely not that kind of sheriff. I don't like that kind of thing. Hey, mister, have you tried maybe not looking to kill me? That'd be... okay, we'll just go back to the praying. Okie dokie. Yeehaw.
Yeah, no, but like I dug the church scene, but that only like reiterates we had like zero fuck to give for the little brother.
Well, they don't try to make
like he was like, they don't fucking kill your little brother anyway. So
in the defense of the movie, they don't really try to make you like the little brother anyway. Like he's very much an asshole.
No, that's true.
Up until the ending sections where he gets kind of cool. I have to say that the two brothers, literally in this order, because there's the older one and the younger one, are visually discount Nathan Fillion from Firefly, and if any of you watch AEW, discount Hangman Page.
The best thing the brother did was when they were like getting all geared up to go hunt them some demons, and he had his little flask, and he turns, and the American flag comes behind him.
It's the American way.
Right.
That was the only entertaining thing. Like,
I liked when he was having the moment of contemplation about, will I bring the super bulletproof helmet, but it will make me look less like a cowboy?
Yes.
I know. I'm going to go with the sheriff's hat. I picked a look and I'm going to rock it.
Part of my problem is like the inconsistency that they had with the story, then like translated over visually. Because like when the bad guys first came out, if I shot you, you just burned into a fucking husk. But then we have all these shootouts later. I can take it in the fucking leg. It looks horrid, but I'm not gonna burn to a husk. Like it was just, I felt like it was just kind of visually all over the fucking place.
And I'm going to put this out there because it got mentioned earlier. I feel the specific lady you talk about who took a shot very much has angelic powers. That's literally the only thing I can think of. There is one possible part of the storyline that's literally told via t-shirt.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of what you were saying earlier.
2 shots.
Do you remember what you were saying earlier about her coming with the badge? Well, what if she literally does? What if she's always been around as a deputy? Because this is something that's supposed to
that's a bit of storyline I wouldn't mind you clarifying. This is the thing with you and your additions to things.
You know what?
Sorry.
I will clarify my eyes and go, sure, that fucking works. Not really, but sure. But the little brother took 2 fucking shots.
They all have magic powers or something. That's the only thing I could pick up, because I won't lie to you. Also, at one stage there was just an army of skeletons that I don't know where that how that happened.
Dude,
it happened because somebody's a Harryhausen
I know
fan.
why it happened. I'm talking in storyline. I don't. I will say the motion capture on those skeletons was actually quite good. There was like for a bunch of fucking skeletons, there was realistic motion to them. But I was just like, I thought there was 4 dudes.
Yeah,
and
like
he is not allowed to have any more people from hell.
Though,
where the fuck are these skeletons coming from? Or
Dude, maybe he walked over an Indian burial ground.
You know, they did kill a lot of people out in that general area. Maybe he just resurrected the people that he killed.
But then there was other actual zombies too that weren't skeletons that were like kind of intertwined.
Yeah, I think
with
that was actually one of the dudes that they shot earlier.
There was a whole bunch of them though.
They had uniforms or remnants of uniforms.
Okay, then explain to me why if I shot one skeleton, it was just like a cute little pop. The next one I shot was like a fucking
Actually, my face for this conversation has been
because our
my
FX
face
game is
for all
not
of this
on
movie.
point.
Just like, huh?
Like, sorry, you know, the whole like descendant shoots one or the angel, who fucking cares? The good guys shot one skeleton. It was like, oh my god, my head exploded and the body fell. I shoot the next fucking skeleton and it was like a fucking fire CGI thing and the fucking skeleton fell.
Hang on. Whoa. Maybe that's the point. Were you making note of who was making things explode?
I'm pretty sure all 4 of the cowboys make people explode at some stage or another.
Oh, okay, never mind.
If they didn't, I'll put it this way: if they didn't literally explode and envelop you in flames, they definitely blew a big flamey hole in your stomach or something like that.
No, he's
on the good guys.
No, he's on about the good guys.
Yeah, the good guys. Like when we strap up and we go down, I guess the ravine or what fucking ever, and we're surrounded by all the fucking skeletons and shit. I popped the skeleton my left. The head just broke. The body fell. I shot the skeleton to my right, and all of a sudden its head was replaced with like flames.
Quick
and
question:
like, oh my
is
God.
it all the same
And then the
dude
body
doing this?
fell. Yeah,
that's what I was just asking.
Like it was cheeky fucking CGI. Like that was my problem with this one.
Yeah,
I feel we're putting more thought in this movie than the people who made it, which is
it happened so
depressing.
Thought that went into it.
Yeah,
this is what makes me want to drink.
Yeah, look, we're actually
Fully
we're
supported the
going
whole
over the hour mark
story.
now, and we still have to go through a fistful of dollars yet. So what we'll do is we'll move into the trailer. I don't know what I'd say about this movie as a recommendation, to be honest. Like the first movie, I could see you sitting down having a couple of beers with your mates and actually having a jolly old time. You know,
totally.
You know, and there is I wouldn't have minded if they kind of went into the twin brothers thing a little bit more and explained that backstory. It was very much just rammed in there as well, but the storyline flowed. Unfortunately for this one, it's one half of a really solid storyline and another half of a storyline that I feel some bits might have been removed from to accommodate the extra half that got added in.
No, I would totally have fun watching the first one with friends, having a few drinks, and just laughing my ass off, dude. I feel like the second film would just bring like we all just sit in there quietly.
There's
like,
so much you have
get it.
to self-assess and put together in this movie that you'd be better off like watching a murder mystery or something with mates. Do you know what I mean? Where there's some valid like who done it kind of vibe.
Like,
you know,
I don't mind.
Anyway, we'll just keep talking for 1 second because I forgot to cue that up.
Watching a film that makes me think after, but if I have to sit there and go, no, okay, well, but if he had this, if he did that, then he'd be cool. Dude, I'm not getting paid for this shit. I'm paying you to entertain me.
Well, like, look, as I said, I agree with Giz that there is a very solid storyline in there, in the actual story. Well, no,
somewhere.
If you break the actual storyline down to its bare bones of a story, there's a really, really cool, solid storyline in there. It's just once you start.
I just had a Terry Funk moment. Oh, give him to me. I can do something good with him. What? Terry Funk.
I fucking love
Terry Funk when he was talking about lads coming into ECW. Oh, give me him. I can do something good with him.
Sorry, you threw me off by the fact that your Terry Funk impression sounds remarkably like horny old guy from Family Guy. Isn't it? But I'm not wrong. That's the impression he did. Like, that's not Terry Funk. That was creepy old guy. Get back here, you fat bastard.
Okay, that was a creepy old guy minus like barbed wire baseball bat or something. Like it's.
Well, I know what my Photoshop.
Verbal and visual.
Where did that paper boy go? Getting really tired of not getting my paper. Get your fat ass back here.
Oh my God, that is disturbing.
Jesse. Time to make your peas and poops.
Stop that now. Jesus H. Christ.
I'm sorry, I just stared at the table for 5 minutes. I had to contribute.
So you decided to contribute by disturbing
as I was
everybody?
saying, tried to get into the outro. There is a storyline in there. It's just once they try to get into the extra bells and whistles that you add on to a storyline to fill it out, they fall folly to many, many plot holes that are inexplicable unless you're Giz with 5,000 years of comic book knowledge rammed into his brains. Not just comic book knowledge, there's a lot of supernatural knowledge and things of that like that in there as well. He's like my own little ginger Necronomicon. That's what I like about him. Anyway, on that visual note, here's the trailer for Dead Noon, and we're going to be back talking about A Fistful of Dollars, which is, just to clarify, not actually.
And behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed with him. Punishes the children and their children for the sins of the father. Are you a man?
Back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's the trailer for Dead Noon.
I remember that scene.
Yeah, as I said, there's some really good elements in there. It's just that they're kind of tied together badly overall. Do you want to say something, Buzz? Because you actually said nothing during that last review whatsoever.
I did my I did. I said the peas and poops.
You said nothing as Buzz during that last trailer. Or during that last...
Oh, okay. How can I nicely put this? Don't watch the fucking
I did my peas
movie.
and poops.
What the fuck? See what happens? Should have just left that shit alone, dude.
Kane Hodder. Oh, never mind. He's gonna come kill
don't
me.
do it. He's a terrifying man. He's a lovely man.
No.
Don't get me wrong, but he's a. He'll crack a neck. I'll tell you that straight out. I'll tell you that straight out. And he'll give you a donkey bite. That's just not fun. I didn't get to get a signed autograph off him for my missus when we were at the horror convention, so he just gave me a big massive donkey. Do you remember that, kids? He just gave me this big massive donkey bite in the back of my arm instead. He was like, there you go. I was like, oh, thanks.
You're asking me to remember something from that? I mean, like, do you know how much poutine I drank?
Do you remember he pinched the back of my arm and I had a huge fucking golf ball shaped bruise for about 3 weeks afterwards?
Yeah, you really pass that on to your better half. Like, hey, babe, so this is what
got a donkey
said.
bite off fucking Freddy, or not Freddy, Jason Voorhees. Good times. Anyway, Giz, I'm going to let you take this one away because I watched it, but I enjoyed it in a. This was okay.
All right.
Not that. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate the absolute cinematic awesomeness that it is, and I can appreciate the violence that's there for the day, and I can appreciate the good acting, and I can appreciate that Clint Eastwood is a goddamn bona fide badass, and I can appreciate the fact it was shot in 67 and it still looks and holds up as remarkably as it
wasn't shot in 67.
I think you'll find it, or 76. No, I think you'll find it.
No, 60. Actually, technically, it was shot in 61 and it wasn't released till 64 because of a lawsuit.
A lawsuit?
64. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. I will
because I didn't realize that.
I will admit that it still holds up as well back then as it does today. I just feel, full disclosure, at the start of it, I hate westerns.
Okay. See, and I grew up on westerns. Like, that's all my dad watched back in the day, was the old spaghetti westerns. Like,
my dad too, which I did like them initially, but then it still continues to this day. And do you know the way if you watch a movie way too many times, no matter how much you like it or not, it can just do it to you? Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, okay, yeah, but now, like, I have control, so, like, I don't watch them as often. And, like, so when I do, it's that whole, like, oh, there's dad. Watch it, like, I'm okay with it.
I still have no control when I'm in my parents' house.
So, to be perfectly clear, right, lads, just to be clear, I didn't pick this film because I'm a fan of spaghetti westerns. In fact, quite the opposite. Like you, Johnny, I actually didn't like westerns for a very, very, very long time. The only westerns I did like were the Young Gun films. It wasn't until very recently that I actually got into watching westerns. And more importantly, the only reason that I picked this film isn't because it's a western. I picked this film because it was the first westernization of one of the most infamous Akira Kurosawa movies ever, Yojimbo, which in itself was a rendition of an older book called Red Harvest, which weirdly enough was about the Pinkertons, kind of.
Nice.
So now that you got that out of the way, what about that lawsuit?
Yeah, because that was... Yes, which was actually part of... Okay. For those of you unaware, A Fistful of Dollars tells the story. It's actually Clint Eastwood's first ever starring role in a movie. It was his debut.
Oh, no.
Say it correctly. It's debut.
Yeah, seriously. Go screw yourself. You are not Matt Riddle.
I'm high enough for Matt Riddle.
I didn't realize that was film.
We fucking, do you know what? Nope, you're talking. Buzz, I love your facials. You're great.
He's like, oh, I'm ready to get schooled. What's going on? Tell me about this lawsuit.
Do you want to know why?
I want to hear things.
My cousin has done that. My cousins have done that exact same thing. Straight up.
What's going on?
So anyway.
You have my total attention? I didn't realize this was his first film, though.
Yeah. So this is Eastwood's debut in Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars. The story itself has Clint Eastwood being the man with no name, also known as Joe, arriving into the town of San Miguel. He's quickly informed that there is 2 rival gangs in the town, and being a sharp-eyed and sharpshooter, he decides there's a bit of profit to be made by playing both sides against the middle. This is the first time that we would see this notion being used in a Western film. However, it's not unfamiliar, since we would have films such as Last Man Standing, which was actually an official work with by Akira Kurosawa remake of Yojimbo, and Yojimbo being the one that we were talking about in the first place. over the course of the film, Eastwood's character repeatedly uses smarts and the fact that he's like this hard bastard and he's able to outshoot and mainly outtalk both sides to continuously up his rates and, more importantly, to continue the war when it looks like it's going to taper out. Once he figures out that the reason that this place is so important is because the Mexican government is supposedly buying guns from the Americans, and hey, that's a handy way of making some gold, folks. In the midst of all this, we also have the heart of gold amidst the anti-hero storyline, whereby Eastwood attempts to help out the what's her name? Marisa?
Yeah.
Marisol.
Played by Marianne Koch. Koch.
Damn, he's actually right. Yeah, he's not wrong.
Oh, I watched
He
the
is
movie
not
and I
wrong.
enjoyed it. I'm just saying, I just don't like westerns.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, we get the heart to gold bit whereby he tries to help her because she was basically taken from her husband and her child when her husband was accused of gambling by the head of the Rojas family, who not accused of cheating by the head of the Rojas family, whether or not he actually cheated.
Just to clarify, you don't go cheating the Rojas family, just in case you were misinformed.
He probably didn't cheat in the first place anyway. It's just a case where you got a pretty wife.
Yeah, the lads have a tendency of bending the truth to their needs and necessities sometimes, for lack of a better description.
Over the course of the movie, Eastwood's character manages to, as I said, play both sides against the middle fantastically, up his rates, make a shit ton of money, cause a fucking load of violence, and insofar as cinema, cement spaghetti westerns as being something worthwhile. Because after this one, they went on to make two more movies, a few dollars more, and then the prequel movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The lawsuit part of it came in when basically the film came out and Akira Kurosawa went, it's a fine movie. And it's kind of my movie, guys. You know. Because basically a bunch of Kurosawa's friends turned around to him and went, you need to see this film. Why? Because it's your film. What? Runs off and sees it, and then apparently turned around to his buddies.
Replace swords with guns, and it's literally, there you go.
Yeah, literally. There are obviously certain cultural aspects that get changed and certain scenes that they altered, but for the most part, at its core, it is essentially the exact same story as Yojimbo. So this lawsuit came about and they settled it for an undisclosed number, which delayed release of the film. But I think by that stage they had already either started to make or they had made.
I would imagine it was the undisclosed number was a percentage, not a figure.
10 or 15%, I think, of worldwide gross.
That's a lot of money.
So
that is a lot of money.
So you're saying?
I think.
So you're saying A Fistful of Dollars was your idea? I came up with something and released it sooner, or
no? Yojimbo was 100% out. Then many years later, A Fistful of Dollars. Well, not many years, but several years later, A Fistful of Dollars came out with.
Actually, gentlemen. Oh, it's worse than that. 61, Yojimbo came out. So basically, Sergio Leone probably saw Yojimbo and went, huh.
What if I did that as a Western?
Ha! So yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. And as soon as his film came out, because it would have been like, Yojimbo comes out in 61, 3 years later, here's this fucking big budget American movie. Some of Akira Kurosawa's buddies see it and kind of go, dude, man, what the frack? Do you know about this? That's my film.
There we go.
It's a fight movie, but it's my film. So, but as
I
said,
it's done in 71, but the lawsuit dragged it out till
61.
Oh, sorry.
Well, hang on a second. Yeah, because no, that can't be right either. Because maybe it was made in 64 and initial release was delayed.
64 is what it has.
I've got it.
64 is what it says in IMDb.
Right.
Sorry, it was released in Italy in 64. It was the American release that got delayed for several years. But that was in time with the sequels, which had been made at that stage. So they basically all came out back to back.
Okay. And that was going to be my next question. Did they hit back to back at that point?
By the time the lawsuit was settled, it would have actually worked out better for the lads, I guess, in a way. But as I said, though, the weird thing is, right, while you look... This is really a weird thing if you actually look at it, okay? A Fistful of Dollars is clearly taken from Yojimbo, which is set in feudal Japan. Fistful of Dollars is set in the Wild West, let's say shortly after the American Civil War. Actually, it is just after the American Civil War, from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The book Red Harvest with what's the name of the guy? Condition Orange or fucking whatever. There's basically a character in it that is the equivalent to the Man with No Name. We're just given a code name for him, and he works for this mysterious agency that is basically a fictional equivalent of the Pinkerton Agency. So if you look at it that way, here is a book set in what's probably the mid to late 1800s. Right. It then gets translated into a story taking place in feudal Japan, but is most famous for its rendition that's set even earlier still in the Wild West, in like probably the 1600s. Usually,
I didn't realize that there was the lawsuit aside. Like, I didn't realize that there was older version of it.
Yeah, and then the really interesting part is the 90s would see an official remake made with Kurosawa and another one of the lads from the Japanese production helping for the Bruce Willis movie Last Man Standing, which is basically Prohibition era, which once again kind of fits into the Pinkerton motif from Red Harvest, whereby you have everything being the exact same, except
that's the one with Bruce Willis, isn't it? Yeah, that's so good. That's bloody as fuck as well.
See, and I dug it. Yeah,
they don't.
Again, though, didn't realize that there was a tie-in kind of deal to that, though.
That, as I said,
it's not a tie-in.
Part of
the tie-in would be Kurosawa.
I guess I mean like history. I guess like history-wise, I just mean.
Oh right. I get you.
When you think about it, the most, if you look at what is supposedly the source material of Red Harvest, then the most accurate
source material.
The most accurate version to get to Red Harvest would technically be the second remake, which was also the only official remake,
which is Last Man
Standing. Yeah.
Okay. See, and so like I guess that's what I mean. Like I didn't realize any of that in the background. Like I didn't know any of these movies. I just knew Fistful of Dollars. I knew Last Man Standing. So to me, like, God, these movies are cool.
The reason Last Man Standing so good is because it's essentially what if we did A Fistful of Dollars with Kurosawa directing.
Right. And like, so, you know, like that just kind of was like, oh shit, that's really fucking cool to me.
It's the other set is the Prohibition part of it kind of linking back in again.
You okay there?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see the movie?
Last
Man Standing?
Which one?
All of the above. Well, I know I watched the Fistful of Dollars, but everything else you're talking about.
Now, and I mean, like, I dug Last Man Standing. That was still when like Bruce Willis was like trying to act compared to like his straight DVD shit that he does now.
What straight to DVD stuff has he done? I want it. We should do it like a Bruce Willis.
Like 100 fucking
He's
titles,
a guy. Has he done it? Has he done horror movies?
No, they're generally kind of like action movies.
I was just like, I'd love to try.
He did the like Dead People movie.
Yeah, and I dug the what was that? Unbreakable trilogy.
It's more of a superhero
Unbreakable Split. Yeah. You know, like I dug that, but he's not actually done anything technically like horror because everything he's done, like say Negotiator, Die Hard.
I don't do movies where I die, except for the one with I see dead people, but I came into that dead. So
you see, he does sci-fi and he does action movies, basically.
Okay. I was just like, I'd love to do a Bruce Willis horror night, and then I was like, I don't think that's possible. I'll just throw it out to the crowd.
It really isn't.
I don't think that's possible.
We could do a night where we like Bruce Willis when he was still like, you know, trying to work compared to like now just getting paid for his name.
I thought you were going to say Bruce Willis when he had hair, so that's just the 80s.
No, that would be like God, what was that TV show?
Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah. I think that was like the last thing he did with.
No. Sure, there was Die Hard. Die Hard was after Moonlighting.
Later?
Ooh.
Okay.
Look who's talking.
Yes, he's still at hair.
Even though he's not actually in it as himself.
So, yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
just the
technically
voice.
he was bald in it because he was a baby.
No. He did 12 Monkeys. What is that? Is that...
He had bald
he's
head
bald
in
in
that.
that one.
Although it's shaved bald, not...
Well, I was more talking about, are we talking about horror movies? I don't remember what that movie was about.
12 Monkeys is...
Well, dystopian time travel?
It's got horror moments.
Yeah, no, it's dystopian time travel. It's not really horror.
Ooh, the whole 9 yards.
That's
Well,
like
the
an
thing is, I
average day,
feel
which is
when we
kind of
do the
bad.
shows...
Stop looking up random Bruce Willis
I
movies,
feel when we
Buzz,
do the
please.
shows, like, for advertising purposes on all of the pages we go out on, we're able to get away with sci-fi normally. For some reason, it's just the Westerns are a little too left.
You said you were going to pick the films and you didn't let me pick, find good ones.
I said, yes.
Just deadly.
Initially,
all your fault.
initially
Buzz
the plan for tonight
gives us-
was to do what is lovingly called the Yojimbo series, which was all of the movies that were inspired from and including Yojimbo. But not a horror movie in the bunch was to be found, so I had to readjust it a little bit, hence.
Well, actually, technically, originally, the idea was to do the Man with No Name trilogy, starting
and
with
the
the Bad
same
and the
problem
Ugly.
was none of those are horror movies. I don't know how we can swing that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, fine.
And
Okay.
Deadly has totally owned it. But A Fistful of Dollars, awesome fucking movie.
Yeah.
If you're into spaghetti western.
Even if you don't like westerns, it's like if you're able to if you're one of those people that just checks out the minute the western starts, you're probably not going to.
If I may, I think the reason that spaghetti westerns work is because they're not like other westerns. One of the reasons the spaghetti westerns shot to the fore is because they were overly graphic. The characters were very, I don't want to say cartoony,
Over
but
the top.
they were far more over the top. Yes, and there was a lot more accent towards anti-heroes, particularly when you look at the Man with No Name trilogy, because you have Eastwood's character going through it, and because
He doesn't
is
say
the,
shit unless
the
he's shooting
archetypical
shit.
kind of. Well, he does, but he's also very, he's the smart ass. Sorry, he's the smart-witted, quick-gunned anti-hero, and an archetype for a lot of characters that would come along in movies that follow on after it. But the kind of more smash-mouth paced films from the spaghetti western differ from a lot of the westerns that most people traditionally think, whereby you got John Wayne slogging with the fucking pilgrims for 2 fucking hours because he's got
that was
true
going to be my question. That was going to be my question. Because again, I grew up with my dad and he watched every fucking western there was. I never truly understood what the definition of spaghetti western was.
There you go.
Primarily, it's the location in which they were shot. No, Spain. And Spain and Italy. All those films were shot in Spain and Italy.
So if they're shot in that location, that's a spaghetti western?
That was part of... Okay, the location is part of how it got its name, but once it had its name, the name then became a genre-defining thing, whereby spaghetti western, yes, it is location, but it is also a specific style akin to the western version of Grindhouse in a way, whereby you have... these dark characters, you have a little bit more darker setting. It isn't the traditional values that you're presented with in the black and white stuff, whereby you literally have black hats and white hats going up against each other, or maybe you have that little subtle gray. In this, you literally have nobody that you can classify as a good guy from any kind of traditional moral standpoint. Even Eastwood's character is a goddamn merc. He has no morals. He has no morals apart from one redeeming child-saving quality.
Okay, so John Wayne was from start to finish a good guy. That's a western. Clint Eastwood, kind of dead.
Clint Eastwood is Iron Man, and John Wayne is Captain America.
Captain America.
Okay,
that's actually a bit more accurate than.
All right. And it was just a whole kind of anti-hero, because if you watch the film, like you said, he's working for the highest dollar, but still kind of sort of doing. So that's why I went Deadpool. But
if you look at it objectively,
he's Captain America versus Iron Man kind of thing.
Yeah, if you look at it objectively, right, he is in there to make money, but he sees the townspeople being oppressed. B, he doesn't like the kids and the mother situation. And C, these are a bunch of murdering bastards that try to shoot his horse.
He's there to make a load of money, but he also has a certain ingrained set of morals that he won't stand to see offended.
Yeah, if he can do something, he's going to do it. And if he can make money,
yes,
even better.
100%.
Right, which is kind of why
we're going to have to start rounding off soon. We're at the hour and a half mark now.
As I said, films like this, to be fair, I didn't like Westerns when I was a kid either. I actually didn't like Westerns until, like, very recently. The only ones that I'd watch were the Young Guns movies, which, if you look at them, can be seen as an evolution from the spaghetti Western style, because once again, you have anti-heroes in the fact that they're all about Billy the Kid and his gang, plus the more smash mouth style, the more quick-paced, the more graphic, violent tones, the slightly darker and tongue-in-cheek humor that's used.
See, I kind of went from like the old westerns to Young Guns to Mario Van Peebles' Posse.
I saw that, yeah. That would be, like I said, that's another one that can, if you look at it, trace its roots back to the spaghetti westerns in regards tone and caricature. The Django is another one that's seen as theoretically.
Yeah,
that's actually one that's seen as being another remake of Yojimbo in a way, and we all know how influential that was.
So, it's funny because, like I said, I grew up on all of the old westerns with my dad, but I'm more of a Young Guns, Posse, to Django fan than I am what my dad used to watch.
Anyway,
we need to start rounding up. We got the trailer for A Fistful of Dollars coming up, and then we'll be back to say goodbyes. Catch you in a little bit.
This short cigar belongs to the man with no name. This long gun belongs to the man with no name. This poncho belongs to the man with no name.
Rico! Heard you wanted to see me. What's wrong, Ramon? You losing your touch? Shoot to kill, you better hit the heart. Aim for the heart or you'll never stop me.
The man with no name. Danger fits him like a tight black glove. He is perhaps the most dangerous man who ever lived.
Get 3 coffins ready. I don't think it's nice, you laughing. You see, my mule don't like people laughing. He gets the crazy idea you're laughing at him. Now, if you apologize like I know you're going to, I might convince him that you really didn't mean it. My mistake. 4 coffins.
This man with no name is played by Clint Eastwood. He's going to trigger a whole new style in adventure. A Fistful of Dollars is the first motion picture of its kind. It won't be the last.
Just imagine Brad Lesnar hair.
And we're back. Yes, and we're back. Okay, so that was the trailer for A Fistful of Dollars. Obviously, we're all going to recommend this because it was bodacious. Buzz, I feel like this is my new segment for after we come back from trailers. How do you feel about the movie? As you said, jack shit.
I like spaghetti.
But you don't like Westerns. Is that what I'm getting?
I really don't. Yeah, I don't like Westerns.
I love how he can find food in anything.
Well, it was pretty obvious in this one.
This wasn't a very fun show for you this week, was it, Buzz?
You guys just seem so eager talking. I just let you guys go.
Anyway, that's going to be the end of the show with us. Slightly longer one than usual, but fuck it. We had things to say.
Bad.
So this This Sunday on the
Some of us
GoreCast,
did.
myself and Giz have some trailers, and there's probably going to be an extra movie or two thrown in there as well for the old cracking balls of it. And tomorrow, seeing as you can see the Twitch GoreCast Unplugged thing in the middle of the screen, because I just realised that I haven't changed the Twitch name up on the top banner. But if you happen to be addicted to stories about mercs who take money to go help people, but then end up finding that the people are nice and they want to go help them, I'll be streaming the new Final Fantasy Remake Part 2. Because I already did part 1. Although in my actual gameplay, I am so far into it now, it's not even funny. It's so juicy and good. But that'll be on about 11:30.
I'm waiting for you to slip into your own
It'll
reality
happen.
again.
Oh, like the Skyrim thing? Yeah, I was bad during Skyrim. We have to shoot promos. I'm hunting a fucking dragon! Calm down! God damn it. But anyway, yeah, so I'll be on Twitch. There's the thing. 11:30 tomorrow night, and I think there's a chance I may also be doing a podcast over on the Newbie Reviews channel. I have no idea what it's about, because that's the mystery of the Deadheads. I find out last minute and then I panic. What are we doing? Oh, I know about that. That's fine. Okay, let's go.
That's kind of my prep into these episodes.
Yeah, just shock and hope for the best. Anyway, also, we don't have a trailer currently for the Shining episode that's possibly coming out this Sunday, or it could be the week after. I'm not 100% sure. I have to wait for an emails.
Okay.
But there's very possibly an episode where myself and Giz reviewed The Shining and Doctor Sleep. Going to be on American Horrors this Sunday, I will say. Quick synopsis. Doctor Sleep rocks. And I don't give a flying monkeys what anybody says. I didn't read the book, so I wasn't literally...
I've not seen it
It's
yet.
fucking awesome. It's like
I like
Stephen
this.
King wrote a superhero movie, but in the Shining universe. Yeah.
Shining universe.
If the X chromosome or the mutant gene that makes people mutants was the Shining, that's what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And
All
you
right.
have Lady Sinistro and her band of whatever they are doing their thing. For lack of a better... Wow! I've been doing a whole load of comic book tie-ins for explaining shit today, and I won't lie to you, nailed it. On that high note, from myself and Giz and Buzz and Carter, we will catch you... Myself and Giz will catch you Sunday. Buzz and Carter will be back Tuesday with another original verse. Oh, I may actually... I'll tell you something for nothing. I might join you for that one, which will be our first...
Awesome.
Unless Giz wants to join us for that one as well, we might do 2. Would you be up for original versus remake on The Evil Dead?
See, I'll have to go back and watch the remake again.
It's good.
I know.
There's going to be an undetermined number of us.
Yeah,
on
because,
Tuesday.
sorry, it's just I hold Evil Dead so close to my heart, and I hold the remake so close to my heart
We all
that
do.
I actually wouldn't mind.
Fuck yeah.
It's undecided right now. I may be professional and not cockblock their two-man show.
Either way, there will be Evil Dead versus
And
Evil Dead
other than
remake
that, from the four of
Tuesday.
us, that's it for tonight, and we'll catch you all Sunday. GoreCast, or I'll catch you tomorrow. What the fuck am I on about? Twitch tomorrow. Join me, fuckers. Okay, I'll catch you later. Bye.
I like spaghetti.